Go ahead.
And rolling.
Okay. You know, Chris, I've always been fascinated with actors' earliest appearances in film. And Charlton Heston did a submarine movie, Grey Lady Down, a few years back, in which you appeared. I was just wondering, was that like a somewhat surreal experience for you, doing that big budget film that early in your career?
No, not really. See, I mean, I'd been on a television show for a couple of years, and I'd done some TV movies and stuff, and I thought, no, I was pretty ambitious, and I thought, it's time. You know, and I saw my friends getting jobs, and I thought, well, I could be there too. So it was not, I didn't walk in there with like, I walked in like, finally. Yeah, no, that was my state of mind at the time.
You know, I interviewed Leonard Nimoy a few weeks ago, and he spoke about when he was doing Star Trek, all the promotional things they wanted him to do that he refused to do. He never appeared in his costume doing promotional things. When you were doing Superman, did you have to say no to a lot of things? Or
Daily.
What kind of things did they ask you to do?
Say to walk into a junior high school dressed in the outfit, go out to in the middle of a football field at halftime with a marching band. The problem, and I explained this to them, we'd have to, the marketing guys would sit down, we'd have serious conversations. I said, here's the problem. If I come out at halftime at the Rose Bowl, and I come walking out there to the 50-yard line, I have no exit. You see, the next move would be to like tip my hand and fly away. I can't do that, okay? So we got a problem. And now eventually I could talk them out of it, but they always were like, well, sure, you just go out there at halftime. I say, yeah, okay, you get the crane, get the wires, And so eventually we went from, but see, they get, it's like an ad agency, whatever, they get creative thinking, they say, what if, and they're entitled to their what if too, and then gradually it all boils down to what's possible.
Well, after the first Superman film, did you have to be really cautious about what roles you were going to take? Because
I think I should have been really cautious about roles I took, but I wasn't. And I just did whatever appealed to me, and that's what I've always done.
Well, did you turn down, I don't know if this is true or not, but did you turn down American Gigolo? Was that something that was offered?
Well, what actually happened was when Michael Eisner was running Paramount, he called me into his office and he gave me a slew of books to read. So here, read these, and these are some possible things for movies. But as a matter of fact, he said, we have one you could start on Monday morning. We've got a movie right here that John Travolta just dropped out of, and we've got an entire crew sitting there on triple overtime, ready to go back to work on Monday morning. You want to take over that part? And I just panicked. I mean, I just said, I can't. It's Friday afternoon. I can't, be. So I didn't do that, and Richard Gere did.
Okay. Well, with Speechless, we hear you do a little bit of singing, and you were really good.
Oh,
and I was just wondering, was that something that was ad-libbed or?
No, that was in the script.
Okay.
That was in the script, and my big concern was they have to pay money for the rights to a song like that. So, and it wasn't going well. The negotiations weren't going well, and they kept pushing the song back in the schedule. I said, guys, you've got to let me sing I'm on Fire, because it's just the right song for him to sing. And they said, well, it's a lot of money, they want X thousands of dollars for it and stuff. And I said, look, I tell you what, I once had dinner with Bruce Springsteen in a Chinese restaurant in Santa Monica. It was in the early 80s, but I'm sure he remembers. If worse comes to worse, I will call him up and remind him that we had dinner together, and maybe he'll let us use the song. But I was prepared to go to, I just think that had to be the song, and can't, but it's all money and rights and.
You seem so at ease of playing a reporter, doing the stand-ups, which is one of the harder things about doing television. Was that a little bit more difficult than you expected, or did you just become comfortable with that right away?
No, because I was ad-libbing the dialogue too. So, I was just saying whatever came into my head. Not just whatever. The thing about Hemingway and the White Bull, that was in the script. But the stuff about being outside, and it reminds me of going into the drop zone into Grenada and stuff, that was all just me. Ron was very generous that way. He just said, do some stuff, do some stand-up there. And so it's not that hard.
Your character in this is, at times, a very romantic guy. I was wondering, in real life, what have been some of the more romantic, extravagant things that you've done?
Oh, gee. I think there's cliched romance and there's real romance. And the mistake that Bob Fried makes is that he's into cliched romance. It's not necessarily singing a Bruce Springsteen song and showing up with flowers that wins a woman's heart. It's really appreciating who she is and really communicating. So there have been times, and I don't know, just little moments where you don't think you're being particularly romantic, but that make a big impression. One time, my wife, we had just met, and I was out for a bike ride one day, and I just stopped by the roadside and spent 15 minutes picking wildflowers from the field, and I tied them together with a rubber band. And she was having a rehearsal of a play, and I ran to somebody else and said, just take these into her. and that they're from me. And she's been talking about that for years. It's like, all it is pick a couple of, but at least, I mean, it actually came from me, and I made a little effort and whatever. I think people want to know that their partner made an effort, a real effort, not a symbolic one.
Great.
Whatever.
Great. Hey, that's great storyteller. Thank you very
Okay,
much. Thanks,
sure.
sir.